Our story begins in the small waterfront community of Elizabeth City, North Carolina. In the early morning hours of August 2nd, 2018, a homeowner is awoken by frantic knocking on his front door. He opened the door and found a crying and injured woman. The man recognized her as his neighbor, 45-year-old Angel Sawyer. She had a wound on her forehead and duct tape around her wrists.
911, location emergency.
Yes, my name is Carl. I live at 18 Darien Drive. My next door neighbor just came and knocked on my door. When I went to the door, she is crying and she says she thinks her husband is dead.
Okay, so what's her address?
It's right next door.
Okay.
She's at my house right now.
All right, and what makes she think that he is deceased?
She says she can't get him to wake up.
Okay.
She says the guy broke into the house. He has a gun. She's got blood on her face where he hit her with the gun.
Wait a second. So was this a domestic?
No, this was another guy.
Another guy broke into the house?
Another guy broke into the house, correct? Not your husband, just, no. She says the guy that broke into the house killed her husband.
Okay, all right. Where's the other guy at right now?
Where is the other guy out? I have no idea where the other guy is.
Okay,
now.
I'll tell you what, for your safety, just stay in the house and lock your door and keep her inside your house, okay?
Yes.
We got law enforcement and fire and EMS on the way. Can she describe what the person looked like? Or does she know the person?
She says the person had a mask on, correct? So, no, she doesn't know the person.
All right, can she tell if he's white or black?
Was he white or black? He was completely dressed in black. Said he was yelling and cussing a lot. He robbed their house, took all their money.
Did he have a pistol, a rifle, or a shotgun?
What kind of gun did he have? A pistol? A long black gun. He hit her really hard in the head, but it was a pistol, but it was a long one.
A long barrel pistol, okay.
Mm-hmm. Tied them up in the bathroom.
She was tied up also?
Yes, she still got some of the tape and stuff on her hands. It's like wideband black electrical tape, is what it looks like.
Okay. Is it still on her?
Still on her hands.
Okay, tell her, do not touch it, do not take it off, okay? Let the officer do that when he gets there, okay?
Yeah.
Just leave what's on her until they collect his evidence, okay?
Right.
Because they might have fingerprints on it from the suspect.
Right.
Can she remember anything else about this person that broke in?
She says he sounded white.
Okay. Did the suspect shoot her husband, or do you think he's dead because of the injury?
The cause of the injury.
And
the husband's the one that's been injured. She says he won't wake up.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the police are here.
You see the deputy sheriff?
I see the police car.
Okay. Can you turn your porch light on, sir, and stay on the phone with me?
Yeah, it's on.
Okay.
It's on. It stays on. Yeah, here he comes.
All right, I'm going to let you go, sir, okay? You've been a big help.
All right, thank you.
While Angel remained at her neighbor's, officers arrived at the Sawyer home. The front door was locked, so they used the back door to gain entry. After clearing the home, the officers ended up in the master bedroom. It was obvious that a struggle had taken place as multiple dresser drawers were dumped out and jewelry was everywhere. Officers located Angel's husband, 55-year-old Milton Sawyer, prone on the master bathroom floor. The 6-foot, 220-pound man was motionless with his hands taped behind his back. Milton was without a pulse and stiff. A small amount of blood was found on the floor and the toilet. He had some superficial injuries, however, they did not appear to be the cause of his death. At the neighbor's house, police collected the tape from Angel's hands. She was then rushed to the hospital for an evaluation. News of the unfolding tragedy reached Milton's family. Milton Sawyer was born in 1963 in Elizabeth City, North Carolina. Milton's brother, David, said they had a typical childhood. Milton loved to tell jokes and did well in school. He won the prestigious drum major spot in the marching band at his high school, where he met his future wife. With math and computer science degrees, Milton got a job managing data for the University of North Carolina. The daily grind wasn't a good fit for someone as free-spirited as Milton. He believed he could do something bigger and better on his own. Milton set up a business dealing in antiques and sports memorabilia. He got married and soon became a father. Not long after, there was another addition to the family. Milton had his downtown store about 3 miles from his home, a shop he called the Treasure Hunter. However, Milton wasn't as lucky with love as with business. He became restless in his home life and had an affair that resulted in another daughter. A divorce followed shortly after, but he remained on good terms with his ex-wife. Milton's brothers said he was a good father and took the kids to the store whenever possible. David said they loved being with Milton. It seemed the only thing missing from Milton's life was a partner to share it with. But in 2011, while picking up his kids from school, he met just the woman, 38-year-old Angel Kessinger. Milton's and Angel's children were similar in age and went to the same school. Angel had 4 children and was in the process of divorcing her husband. Despite their 10-year age difference, Milton and Angel bonded over parenting challenges and sharing custody of their children. When Angel's divorce was finalized, Milton seized the opportunity and asked her out. A year later, in 2012, the couple wed. They became partners in life and business. At the Treasure Hunter, Angel was a constant presence. She organized and staged the items in the shop. Over the next 5 years, the couple worked to nurture their blended family of 7 children. Life seemed good for the Sawyers until the night of August 2, 2018. A home invasion has left Milton dead and Angel in the hospital. The scene was consistent with a robbery. Milton's body was taken to the medical examiner for an autopsy. Officers spoke with the neighbors, however, no one had heard or seen anything unusual. There was no sign of forced entry. The back door was open and a key to the residence was found on a table on the back porch. Detectives went to the hospital to speak with Angel while crime scene technicians analyzed the scene.
Before all this happened tonight, what were you guys doing tonight?
We were watching Game of Thrones. We're kind of binge watching, so we had watched 4 last night and we were on our 3rd one tonight. And he said, "You want to watch one more?" And I said, "Yeah, but we're going to get a snack." I went to open the bedroom door and this guy pushed it and he had a gun. I don't cuss, but this lady was cussing a lot. Kept saying, get on the effing ground and give me all your effing money. It must be someone because he knows us, because he said, "Give me your shop keys because I'm going to go steal all that effing there. You're the gold buyer and we'll go to the city." And
so he knew who you guys were and what you did. So when you were getting to go get a snack, and when you went to open your living room door to go into your hallway,
he came right in.
He was right there.
He was right there, scared the shit out of me.
Do you normally keep the doors locked at your house?
Yep.
You know if they're locked tonight?
I don't know because, sometimes when that last kid leaves, I usually go check it before we go to sleep. But we have 7 kids, so.
Who stays in the house with you guys now?
My 2 daughters are the only 2 that live there right now, all the time. But one was at a friend in Hartford, and the other one was at her friend's at Camden because they were gonna carpool to work tomorrow. Okay, so he pushed the door open. He forced Milton down on the ground. And he tied his hands. And he just kept telling me to get the F down, bitch. And I didn't have anything on, so I just grabbed one of Milton's shirts before I got on the ground. He took us both into the bathroom.
Who did you tie up first? You remember?
His feet and his hands behind his back.
What did you tie up with?
No, I didn't see his. I had like a black tape on my hands.
Okay, tape on your hands.
And then he grabbed me by my hair. We were both in the bathroom. He had my hands behind my back tape.
Did he put y'all in the bathroom?
Mm-hmm. I don't know how he knocked me on that or something. I don't even know. And then he grabbed me by the hair real hard and threw me into our room. Was dumping stuff and trying to find stuff and asked for the money, and then he asked for the key again. And then he hit me really hard. My ear was just ringing. And I fell. And I hit my head on the corner of that table by my husband's side of the bed. He smashed the phone when I went to grab the phone. That's when he hit me. So I saw my husband's phone. And then he went back in there and I could hear them wrestling around. I couldn't get him to wake up. I couldn't roll him over because it's big and heavy. And I couldn't get him to breathe, and then I threw up.
Was that in the bathroom?
So I was trying to get my hands untied. Then I went across the street to the... They didn't answer. They finally got the neighbor next door to answer.
Were they outside? They came to the door.
They came to the door and let me in. They called the police. So off my husband.
Is there anything about this guy that seems familiar at all?
No. Then he said he wanted the shop key, so I told the police maybe they should catch him over there, so I told them as soon as they got there.
Could you tell if he was white or black? Did you ever see any skin?
Couldn't see any skin. It was dark.
How tall do you think he was? Was he taller than you?
Only 5'2". I was mostly on the ground and then pushing me on the ground and him hitting me. One time I was next to him was when he pulled me by my hair to get up. He was definitely taller than me. I don't think he was as tall as my husband. I feel like it's someone that must come into our shop because he kept saying, "Where's your jewelry, bitch? I know you wear effing nice jewelry. Probably, he's the gold buyer. You probably get all the jewelry."
Did he sound white? Did he sound black at all?
He did sound
Or
white.
did you think he sounded white?
I do think he sounded white.
Could you tell if he was a slim build like Aaron or was a bigger build like me? Or in between?
Like Aaron.
Do you know if your truck's unlocked with your purse in it?
Probably. We don't never lock anything. I always just check the doors at night right before we go to sleep.
I know you've been at the store. Have you had anybody come in that's acting suspicious, like within the past couple of days that you can think of that might?
Just one guy
Mm-hmm.
that kind of threatened them.
One guy that.
Dylan bought stuff from this kid that I guess uses it for drugs. I don't know what his name is. But his brother came in and demanded all his stuff back, and Milton had already sold some of it, and the police told them they couldn't take it back unless they paid, since they weren't pressing charges against their own brother. That's the only guy that's told Milton if he didn't get his Yeti cooler back that he would be hearing from him. Finally just convinced Milton to stop doing this business. We were gonna sell it.
Okay, we're going to take you to get a CAT scan right now, okay? So we can get it off, okay?
I want my husband.
What time did you leave the shop today?
It was just after 6. So I remember we went to Tony's and Tony came straight over to the table and was joking that we were early.
So you left the shop, you went to Tony's, then you went to the hardest parking lot?
We went to Ollie's
Ollie's,
to get some stuff for the kids for school. Because we have 5 going to college in August. Then we went to Hardee's parking lot. And then when we were leaving Ollie's, he said, and this is why we had a fight, and I get frustrated. And he told me I didn't like doing this, it was Dylan who just got out of jail.
So he met a guy named Dylan. Can you describe Dylan for me?
Kind of small. He's always with this one girl. Dylan brought it to the car. I said, it looks like it came off someone's wall, and there's not even a stand. You know, we got in a fight the whole way back. So I said, I don't know why you buy this shit from people. I'm just sick of dealing with drug addicts. And I always worry when we meet at Harvey's, because that's another thing.
Yeah.
I said, how do I know these people aren't going to follow us back to our house?
You know,
Saying it was that kid, but I mean, they could follow us back. But they always usually come in together. That girl, Dylan, and the boy whose brother came in pissed off.
do you know what time Dylan called him? Do you know?
While we were at Ollie's.
Okay.
So maybe 7:30. One of them was involved in that whole CVS robbery thing or whatever not too long ago.
Okay.
Mr. Capable.
Yeah, well.
Dylan actually called from jail asking Hilton to bail him out. So, no.
Wow.
And then the girlfriend came in trying to sell stuff so she could bail him out of jail.
When was this?
Right after 4th of July.
My card, my cell phone number. I'm gonna put that in your purse. Is there anything that you can think of since we've been talking, Angel? I know you got a lot going through your mind.
I just want to know where he is.
He didn't make it right.
No.
I'm sorry.
Detectives left Angel to rest as they worked the lead she gave them regarding the TV purchase from a guy named Dylan hours before Milton's murder. The Sawyers' business had fallen on hard times, and they started buying and selling gold. The store was more or less a pawn shop, and Dylan was a regular customer. Local law enforcement was familiar with Dylan. They said he was a frequent flyer. Elizabeth City police officers brought Dylan Histadler in for questioning.
Okay, so tell me about Milton, man.
I don't know anything about Milton.
Man, you know you've done some robberies. Did you do this?
No.
You're leaving the part out from 12 o'clock to 4 o'clock in the morning. Oh.
Dude, I was at home all night last night.
How many times did we say that all you have to do is tell the truth? The first time that you did the robbery, didn't we kind of go through the same thing?
Yeah.
Where you leave the part out where Dylan messes up, right? That's what you're doing right now.
No, I didn't know.
But I'm in the middle of a murder investigation. So helping you get out of a little cocaine charge, at least in my words, right now. If you're really thinking about Milton, I need to spend my time on trying to figure out who killed him.
Absolutely.
Detectives gathered location data from Dylan and his girlfriend's phones. The devices showed that they were not in the area of the Sawyer home when the murder took place. Investigators were able to rule them out. An autopsy was completed, and the cause of death was manual strangulation. With this being a personal means of killing someone, they turned to Milton's inner circle for answers. Detectives spoke with his siblings. His family said no one they knew of had it out for Milton. They also shared details of the Sawyer marriage. Milton's family said that Angel thought highly of herself and seemed self-centered. Milton's brother said she always thought she was the hottest chick in the room. They said Milton tried to provide her with all the accessories she wanted. David said that after 5 years of marriage, that wasn't enough. 2 months before the murder, Milton called David and said that he thought Angel was having an affair. His suspicions began in late 2017 after Angel got into a fender bender. She had shoulder and hip pain, so she went to a local physical therapy office. Angel was referred to Isaac Melcher because he performed dry needling. At first, everything was fine, but it wasn't long before there were telltale signs of infidelity. Milton started noticing that Angel would take long showers, dress up, and put makeup on before going to the physical therapist. He was convinced that Angel was using the sessions to cover up an affair with the therapist himself, 38-year-old Isaac Melcher. David said that Milton confronted her about it multiple times and she continued to deny an affair. Armed with the allegations against Angel, authorities ran a background check on Isaac. He is married and has 3 young children. From outward appearances, Isaac was a religious, professional family man. He was well respected and his patients were fond of him. When detectives arrived at Isaac's home and explained the reason for the visit, Isaac denied the allegations of infidelity. He admits there had been some problems with Angel's husband being overly jealous, but he denied any sexual relationship with Angel, and he was no longer seeing her as a patient. Isaac said he was currently going through a divorce. Investigators asked him for permission to search his phone, but he told them he no longer had it. He had awoken in the night to use the bathroom and kicked over a jug of water, which had destroyed the phone. What's more, Isaac claimed he had just purchased the phone from Walmart at around midnight on August 2nd, around the time of Milton's murder. Detectives believed that whatever was on Isaac's phone could have connected him to Milton's murder. A few days later, investigators confront Angel with the allegations.
Well, you're going to be completely disappointed in me because I have a blunt issue in the box. I guess it's better to know your stuff. We'll start with easy stuff first.
Okay.
And, when did you and Milton date long before you got married? No, I was just curious. As long as I know Milton, you've been around, so I know nothing about you guys' background.
We dated, I guess, a year. We're engaged a year.
What year did y'all get married? What year did you get married?
2012.
And y'all don't have any kids together, right? Y'all just both have kids from other marriages.
Yes, sir.
But between the two of y'all have
7.
kids. And y'all have 5 that are in college this year.
Yes, sir.
Oh my God.
We're both sorry for your loss, and I'm sorry you're having to go through all this. people are kind of talking about you and talking to you about, just personal stuff, and we're getting 5 times as much of that about basically everybody that ever shopped at the store.
Right.
So it's just, there's a lot of stuff coming out. And some of it's not true, and some of it is true. But do you think you'd be okay to talk to us for a little while today? Like, are you gonna be
I want
like?
to clear everything up. I mean,
Okay.
everybody that knows us knows that we have a good relationship. We've had, like any marriage, things. I had a hard time our first year of dating, as you would ask. I found out later, after we were already engaged, that he had been with 2 other women. And it was, but we got through it. I mean, it was hard. He was always very jealous. I mean, it was hard for him because he's always said, "You're so attractive, you could have anyone you want." And, I would always reassure him that I just wanted him. But we dealt with that a lot. A lot of, people would say things, customers, different things. Most people thought I was his daughter. That was hard.
Yeah.
The only recent thing though was I had been in a car accident and had gone to physical therapy, and my appointment had been canceled, so I forwarded him the voice message, and for whatever reason he realized that it's a guy that I'm going to physical therapy with. And obviously if you've ever been to physical therapy, you're in a room full of people. It's not like, and but it bothered him. Like, he looked him up on Facebook, sent me a screenshot of his picture, said he's attractive, and I said, "No, he's not. I'm attracted to you. I love you. I don't care about this guy." But he was still having a hard time with it. He would get angry every time we went, so I finally just quit. I said, "I'd rather be in pain physically than to make you suffer. If it was that important to you that I not go to physical therapy, I won't go." Everything was great. Everything was perfect. We went to the beach. I believe it was in May. We had been there about an hour or so. Then all of a sudden he became really angry, and I was like, what's the problem? What's wrong? Because I was facing this way towards the houses. He was facing this way towards the beach and our chairs. And he said, "Your effing therapist is here with his family." And I was like, "So? It's a beach. It's full of people. People from Elizabeth City go to the beach." I mean, and he got really angry. He insisted that I planned it. It took a few weeks, but, he eventually was like, "Yeah, I guess, it really doesn't make sense. Why am I gonna meet at the beach with his wife and kids and my husband?" I mean, anybody that knows us that hangs out at the shop knows that I loved him, he loved me, and we were past it all. It had been months ago.
Well, did you ever have a relationship with your therapist? Do you even know his name?
Well, I mean, I saw him for 2 sessions. His name's Isaac. But, I mean, I never had any relations with him at all.
You ever, talk to him on the phone, like Facebook, anything?
When I was first going there and everything, we talked just because you get to know people. And I knew he had a wife and kids, went to church and whatever. And he started, he wanted me to look at pictures of his family or something. And they had gone on a trip of some sort. But I told Milton, that's what it was. It wasn't anything. And he was fine. I mean, he had put recorders in the car. He had put recorders in the shop. I mean, if I was going to leave him, I would leave him. I wouldn't hurt him. But even then, I wouldn't. I mean, we've been making plans. He and I have been discussing a lot, and you can check with other people that hang out at the shop, that we were going to get out of this business because I didn't like it. I didn't like dealing with these drug addicts. It scared me. I didn't like it because I felt like I was supporting their habit. And, he looked at it as a way to sometimes provide for the family. And, we didn't always agree on that. The night of everything, we had been shopping for the girls' college stuff, and he got a call from Dylan. And Dylan wanted to meet at Hardee's. with his girlfriend Robin and bought a TV that obviously had been ripped out of the wall. It had, you could see that, you know, it's in the truck if you want to see it, but I basically was upset with him. And I was crying the whole way home from Harvey's to our home. And I got out of the car, went inside, and he sent me a text, which you can look at, that says that he needs to start taking my advice, that he was sorry, that he loved me. You can see from the post that he's recently posted on Facebook that we had gotten past all of that stuff. I would never cheat on him. It's just not who I am, you know.
Well, let's go back to Isaac for a minute. So, you never had a relationship with Isaac, but like, do you think that he might have thought there was something there? Like, did he seem inappropriate with you in any way? Like,
yes, but I told my husband, and every time he would try to, I mean, again, you can look at my phone. There were probably 2 or 3 different names he tried to use to friend request me.
really?
But
Is that what you mean? Because we talked the other day, you said he seemed obsessed, Isaac seemed obsessed with you, is the word you used.
Well, I just felt like he kept trying to reach out to me. He would come up with different names to friend request. One time my husband was actually going to go over there to confront him. And then one time we saw him at Muddy's, which, you know, Milton's like, that's weird, he's never been here before. We go to Muddy's every day, and we had never seen him there ever. And Milton was really upset about it and was angry, and, you know, he told me afterwards that he was sorry for being upset with me, that it's not my fault. You know, there's customers, I think I told Dan that there's this guy that came in a few weeks ago that when my husband left for the post office, I stayed on the phone the whole time because he was like, you really draw men in. And just was like, you know, that's what drew me into your store. And just really inappropriate. And he came back a few days, right, I think Monday this week. And it made me nervous. I called Milton into the office. I went into the office and called him in there. And I said, that's that guy again. And he said, it's okay, I just stayed in the office. But the guy kept hanging around right where he could see the door and just kept like staring at me like this. And just, unfortunately, I deal with a lot of that, unfortunately. And it's always been an issue, but we've always gotten past it. You know, he's always admitted he's very insecure. He's always admitted, which you can ask his friends, that, you know, he was always, you know, worried that I would do something like that, which I wouldn't.
Was business good, or like how were you guys' finances?
Right now, it's not good.
Really?
Just to give you an example, I can for some reason get incoming calls, but Milton handled all the bills. Milton handled everything. Milton handled all the money. I never, and this isn't a negative thing, I don't want it to be taken this way, but the way he did his business was to have cash to pay. So I never had money. If I needed something, I would ask him. But the thing is, because of his insecurity, I was never not with him, ever, to have an affair. I mean, he didn't let me go to the grocery store without him. I haven't driven in months because that whole incident at the beach. I mean, I haven't been able to be home with my kids until he comes home. I have to stay with him all the time. And I'm not saying that as a bad thing. I didn't mind doing that because I love my husband. And if it made him feel better that I was there all the time so he could know that I loved him, then that was fine. I said to him, you know, not too long ago, was I have less freedom than a maximum security prisoner, and he said, I'm sorry that I'm so insecure, I'm really trying. And I said, it's okay. We have no life insurance, we have no health insurance. 2 other things just sold over the weekend on eBay that are in the store that I guess I need to probably try to ship.
So essentially, whatever was in the safe or was at the house was all the cash that you guys had liquid?
That's it.
Okay.
We literally, Milton busted his ass every day to make sure everybody was taken care
Okay.
And yes, our children are mostly grown, and most people would say maybe they should be paying their own bills, but we pay their insurance, we pay their phone bills.
Let's go back to the day, right? And let's just do like from the time you woke up until everything happened.
The only thing I can remember is
It's like when you
basically
woke up.
from going to dinner.
Okay.
Okay, we ate dinner at Tony's. After that, we went to Ollie's.
Okay.
Because we've been trying to find extra long twin sheets for the girls for college. We got a phone call from Dylan, and we were waiting in the Harvey's parking lot for a while. And then they pulled up.
Do you have any idea what time that was?
Maybe 8:30, somewhere around there.
Okay.
Then, like I said, I was upset, and I went into the bathroom, and I was crying, and if you want, I can pull up the text that my husband sent.
I think when I looked at your phone last week, I think I looked at it.
Okay, and basically said he would take my advice from now on whenever he was sorry.
When you got home, you were upset. Did you guys have any like conversation to like rectify?
Oh yeah, everything was fine.
Okay, so like how much?
He
do you
sent that
think-
text, he said he was sorry.
Yeah.
We were, we made love.
Okay.
We were fine. I mean, I came to bed and he was, we were very affectionate with one another, and yeah, I didn't even have clothes on when this man.
Okay. And the reason that I was asking is that we were trying our best to narrow down like the timeline, for like other, like there's surveillance cameras and things like that people may be coming and going.
Our relationship, and I only say this so you understand, had gotten so great and was so good that I was joking with him because we would literally make love every morning and night, every day, for the last few months. And he'll always make the joke, are you sure? I mean, you must be getting tired of me. Like, no, I'm not. I mean, our relationship was good. All I keep thinking is, what if I would have pushed the guy down? What if I could have done something?
That's completely normal.
I don't know, I feel guilty being alive, and that's why I won't eat or drink, because if he can't eat or drink, I don't want to. I know I have to be strong for my kids, but I just don't feel like I can. I just want to be with him.
I know you had a lot of jewelry. Do you think that you would know, like, if it was yours or not?
He always chose to give me unique pieces.
Okay.
I do have a lot of unique pieces.
She actually told us about the key by the little planter table.
Yeah, that's where we leave it. I
Okay,
know,
but
it's
like,
crazy.
do you have your own key, or is that how you get in?
That's how we get in.
Okay.
I know it's weird, but we have so many kids and in and out, and we just, I don't know, I chose that key because it blended with it, but every time we would give the kids keys, they would lose them, or we would put it under the mat and they would forget to put it back, and so we just finally just left it there. And I asked Tori if she locked it, and she doesn't remember. And I don't want her to feel guilty for it. I don't want her to stress that it's her fault.
In my experience level, I feel that the person that did it had at least likely been to the door before, because normal people would go to the front door. Even in Eastern North Carolina, everybody uses the side door or the back door, but most people start at the front door.
Right.
And if that's locked or obviously not used, then they would go to the back door. But by all appearances, it seems that whoever did it went to the back door.
She said, I'm going to get my stuff and go stay at my friend's in Camden. And I said, are you sure? Because I knew she was tired and she had a long day. And she said, well, yeah, I guess it's easier to get to work in the morning since we're commuting. Thank God that she wasn't there.
Do you remember, and this is a really specific question, but do you remember how many episodes before or after she left? Like, do you remember kind of where you were at in your timeline of leading up to when everything happened?
I know we were in the middle of one.
Okay.
I would say we watched 3, so 8:30, 9:30, 10:30. Yeah, so if she would have been there at 10:40, we would have been probably in the second one. And then watched the third one. We usually watch TV till 1:30. That's a typical thing for us.
When you decided to get up and get a drink and a snack, let's start there.
Milton's side table is here, as you know.
Which side of the bed did he sleep on?
Right there.
But he was closest to the bedroom.
So probably can't stand. I'm really weak. Yeah, the door, that table that my head was hit on, in the bed.
Okay.
Milton slept here, and I
Mhm.
slept on that side.
Okay.
I had my hand on the door, and I said, let me go get us a snack and a drink. I said, what do you want? As I started to open it. Well, it came towards me, and he was there. Started screaming. All I saw was the gun. He had the gun right in my face. Get on the floor, effing bitch, blah, blah, blah. And he kept pointing the gun, saying, I said, get on the floor. And Milton was like, honey, just get on the floor. And I said, I just want to put a shirt on. I was afraid if I was naked that maybe he would rape me, and I was scared, so I just wanted to put a shirt on. So I put Milton's shirt on, and then I immediately laid right there on the floor by that chair. And Milton cooperated. He got on the floor as well. And I couldn't see what was happening other than I was crying and I was begging him to stop, and he just kept telling me to shut the F up, shut the F up. I mean, he cussed a lot. I mean, it just mostly that's what he said. The F word, called me a baby. I mean, I don't cuss a lot, so it's hard for me to say all those words. He picked Milton up first. I don't know how, or if he was partly taped. I don't understand. I don't know how it logistically moved him to the bathroom, but he did get to the bathroom.
What was Milton taped before you?
Yes.
Okay. Did you see how it happened?
No, like I said, I was laying on the ground by that chair.
Mm-hmm.
Milton, he had him on the ground right next to the bed in front of the door.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he just taped his hands. I don't know what he taped, but I could hear it. And then he took him to the bathroom first and put him on the floor. And then
How did you get him to the bathroom? Did you order him to the bathroom?
That's what I don't know. That's part still vague as to how he got to the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know I could hear the tape, but Milton's a pretty big man. I mean, I don't know if how he would have gotten there. In the bathroom, he was on top of Milton.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember because I was next to the tub, and I kept saying, get off of him, and he kept pointing the gun saying, shut the up, shut the up. I'll shoot you, I swear to God, I'll shoot you. I'll shoot him. I don't know if he was on top of him because he was taping his feet, but I just know Milton was face down. It was dark. He never turned any lights on, I guess for obvious reasons. The only light was because the TV episode, when it's waiting, and so it would, the TV made a noise and made it sound like a person, obviously. And he immediately panicked, I think, because he was like, I thought you said no one was here. Is there kids here? I swear to God, I'm going to kill them. Where are they? Is there kids upstairs? I mean, he just kept, and he left the bathroom for a second. So I was trying to go over to Milton, but then he came back, and then that's when he taped my hands. And he grabbed me by the hair, drugged me into the room. He was out there going through stuff, and he couldn't find the jewelry. And I know Milton had already given him the keys, I think, told him where they were anyways. When he was taping Milton up, and when I was laying down over here, he kept saying, you're the Elizabeth City gold buyer, you're the big gold buyer. I know, just kept saying stuff about Elizabeth City gold buyer. And on our Facebook and stuff, it's almost like he was quoting, like, you know what I mean? Like, it seems, I don't know, maybe it's just coincidental. Maybe he just has been in the shop, which I think he has, because he kept yelling to me, I know you got a lot of jewelry, I've seen all the jewelry you wear, I don't, where is it? He couldn't find it. I don't have a typical jewelry box. It's a lingerie cabinet, but it's full of jewelry, as you know, you've seen it. So when he drugged me out there, I basically said it's right there. And then that's when he hit me and I went down.
How did he hit you?
I felt this huge, I don't know what it was, but my whole ear just started ringing, and I went down. And I don't remember much until, I don't know if I went out or if it just, I don't know, just stunned me. It was ringing a lot. It was like, excruciating. I was trying to get up because I guess I was in my mind thinking I would call for help. And that's when he came back and again pulled my ear and pushed me down, and I hit my head on the table. and I could just feel my eye filling up with the blood just because, I don't know, head wounds, I could feel it. So I thought I'm just gonna lay here because maybe if we just cooperate, and I couldn't hear Milton struggling anymore. And it was freaking me out. I didn't know if he was cooperating or if he was, I don't know. And I just lay there. I don't know if the guy just thought I was finally out. I don't know. He was freaking out. I dropped my phone. Where's my phone? I'm gonna get caught doing this. What the f? I gotta find my phone. I was laying like this and I could see his phone was right there. So I took it and just pushed it, just so it would be
Further hidden?
where he could see it, just so he would leave.
Oh, gotcha.
And then he said, "Thank God, there's my phone." He picked it up, and then that's when I heard him. I guess he left. I went into Milton. My hands were still tied, and then I went back in there where Milton was, and he wouldn't answer. And I, was hitting it. I was trying to move him with my head, and trying to move him, trying to get one of my hands out. I threw up a little bit, just because I was freaked out, I guess. And then I just went down the street. It was a few doors down, and I knew, and the whole time I was struggling to get one hand out, just so I could knock on the door. And by the time I had gotten to his door, I was able to free this hand. I didn't take anything off of this hand, because in my mind I was thinking, we might need it, we might need it. That's all I kept saying. I was screaming. I went to my next door neighbor, and I knew they had a dog. I thought maybe a dog will wake somebody up. So I just kept ringing the bell, screaming, begging for help. He came to the door, and then he called 911.
Describe the guy.
Like I said, he sounded white. I know it sounds weird to say, but when I opened the door, I would say he was not as tall as Milton. He had a mask on. He was wearing all black.
What kind of mask? Like a ski mask, like a Halloween mask?
I don't know. I just remember I couldn't see anything.
It's like a winter mask, like with eye holes and a mouth hole and all that kind of
Yes.
stuff?
Okay. Yeah.
You just couldn't tell if he was white or black?
I know. It was so dark. And the door and then everything, I never really, other than as far as being face to face with him, the only time was when I opened the door and he was right there.
Did you see if he had gloves on?
It looked like medical gloves.
When he was kind of ransacking and going throughout the house, were you and Milton talking to each other?
I couldn't get Milton to answer. And the only thing Milton would say was, "Honey, just calm down, we're just gonna cooperate, he's gonna go." When I freaked out was when I was in that room and I heard them wrestling and I could hear stuff breaking.
Did you check for a pulse or?
My hands were still tied at that point. I didn't get one hand loose until probably right before his house.
Okay.
I was really having a hard time. It was really tight.
Mm-hmm.
I kept putting my head on his face, trying to nudge him, so to speak. Mm-hmm. And I laid my head on his body and was trying to listen, but I couldn't hear anything, and then I threw up a little bit. He kept putting the gun right in my face, telling me to shut up when I was trying to talk to Milton. Mm-hmm. And I was begging him to please get off of him. I remember saying that, "Please get off of him, please get off of him," because I didn't know if he was killing him. I didn't know what he was doing. I didn't know why he was on top of him.
You holding up all right?
Okay.
I know we asked you a lot and had you go through all that stuff with us.
It helps catching that's all that matters.
And that's all we're trying to do. I know we got just a couple more questions for you, and it'll probably make you feel better. We're not going to go back to the house today.
Thank you. I need to go into the shop, so if you want to go there next, if you need anything, or receipts, or if you need anything.
I'm going to go to look at that receipt book just to see who's been in there recently.
That's what I'm saying. You can come with me. My briefcase is in there, I hope.
You're trying to be careful with the tape, because that stuff we probably want to send to the lab. Did you lose any other tape? Did any tape fall off of you, do you know of? Or?
On my hands?
Mm-hmm. Do you remember? Or?
I don't remember. I just know that they took it off when I was at the neighbor's.
Okay. When you were checking on Milton, you were still taped behind your back?
Yeah. I mean, I would have been like this, and then I was trying to get it loose. I don't think I got it loose until later, but I remember leaning on him like this, and I remember throwing up. I still had the tape on. I remember trying to nudge his body.
And when you left the house, did you go out the front door or the back door?
The door that was wide open, which was the back door. It may have been that I got it loose to get up. I honestly don't remember that part.
And do you remember it like ripping when you got your hands loose? Did you maybe slip the
I
hand
just
through?
kept
You remember
twisting,
you just kept twisting
and
it
twisting
came
it,
loose?
and just trying to twist it. I just remember, and I don't remember if it was still while I was with him or if it was. I just remember I had gotten one loose. The whole time I was working at trying to get one hand loose. The whole time, just because I assumed my phone was still there because I wouldn't remember that it was in the car. And I also have a watch, an iWatch, and so I was trying to find that, but I don't, someone had said it was at the end of the bed. I don't know why he wouldn't have taken that. Maybe he didn't want someone to be able to track it.
Yeah, that's it. Unless we come up with something else, or do you come up with something else?
Yeah, I try to call him if I think of anything or anyone that might be suspicious.
The guy's voice, it sounded like a white guy. Did he sound at all familiar?
No, and that's why I keep going through my head. I feel like I would have recognized Dylan's voice if it was them. I mean, I know it could be just someone else, but I mean, I feel like I would have. But there's so many people that come in that shop. I mean, if you had a lineup and I couldn't see them, but I could hear their voice, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
If that's what I need, I will do anything. I just want this person to be found. I mean, I might recognize it. One time someone brought in a ring and they said, "This is my son's class ring, I want to sell it." It had my son's engraving in it, Aaron Thomas Kessinger, his year, his class ring that Milton and I paid for. Someone brought in my son's class ring to Milton to sell it. And Milton basically said, "I'm not going to give you any money and I'm not giving you the ring. This is my son's ring." And they ran out of the shop. So I literally called my son and was like, "Aaron, where's your glass ring?" Because we spent a lot of money for gold. And he was like, "In my glove compartment of my truck." "Why?" I said, "Go look." He's like, "It's not there." I said, "I know, because someone just brought it into Milton." I mean. Sorry.
You're right. Fine.
Investigators continued to work on the leads provided by Angel. Detectives went to Walmart to check the surveillance footage to see if Isaac was there at the time of the murder, as he said. He was not found on any footage, and none of the transactions led back to him. With Isaac's alibi in shambles, authorities had enough probable cause to search his home. On August 8th, when the police arrived with a warrant, they learned from Isaac's wife that he had left the state. Isaac's wife did not know about his connection to Angel and could not verify his whereabouts on the night of Milton's murder. She cooperated and said he visited his home state of Oregon to see his mother. With Isaac as a person of interest, they found it suspicious that he went across the country in the middle of a homicide investigation. Despite Isaac's departure, detectives searched his home and vehicle but came up empty-handed. Not long after, Angel alerts detectives to phone calls and messages she had received from Isaac via Facebook. Angel handed the phone over and allowed them to look at the messages from Isaac Melcher. While going through Angel's messages, detectives noticed another message thread with the name Isaac Dustin. They knew Isaac's middle name was Dustin, so they also checked those messages. In the thread, Isaac addressed Angel as Love and talked about buying her something. The investigator returned the phone to Angel and said, "Hey, can you tell me what this message is?" And she deleted the message thread right in front of them. If she wasn't under suspicion before, she was now. Detectives wondered what other secrets Angel was keeping. They obtained a warrant for Angel's cell phone records. As they combed through her phone records, detectives received a call that proved explosive. A man by the name of Louis Casimir was calling from Oregon. He claimed to have information about the Milton Sawyer case. Louis said Isaac Melcher had just visited him. Louis had a long history with Isaac, dating back 20 years when he was Isaac's youth leader at church. Isaac was part of a group of teenage boys with behavioral issues. He had a quick temper in high school and lacked a father figure. Louis attempted to fill that void and became Isaac's mentor. He regarded Isaac as his success story and looked at him like a son. At 19, Isaac left Oregon for work in North Carolina, where he met his future wife, Darlene. Louis and some youth group members traveled to North Carolina to celebrate Isaac's wedding day. After Louis returned to Oregon, he fell out of touch with Isaac, but he and his wife Lori followed Isaac's progress on Facebook from afar. It was all good news. Isaac had 3 kids, put himself through college, and in 2016 became a physical therapist working out of the YMCA in Elizabeth City. A few days after Milton's murder, Isaac flew to Oregon to visit his sick mother, but he also decided to pay a visit to his youth pastor. Louis hadn't seen Isaac in more than 10 years and was excited to learn how he was doing. But when Isaac showed up, Louis had a bad feeling. He could tell something was wrong. Isaac's shoulders were slumped. Louis sat Isaac down in his backyard because Isaac said he wanted complete privacy for what he was about to reveal. He told Louis that he considered him his pastor and that the conversation they were about to have was a confession, something that would stay between them. Louis told him that he disagreed with that. Isaac continued anyway. He said that he had made some foolish choices and would probably lose his family. Louis asked him what was going on. Isaac said that a patient of his named Angel was in deep trouble. He said her husband Milton was jealous, kept a tight rein on her, and threatened her. Isaac had in his mind that Milton was abusing Angel. He said that he needed to protect her and be the hero. He wanted Milton out of the picture to make Angel happier and safer. Isaac told Louis that he murdered Milton in his home. Isaac said that he put him into a chokehold and strangled him. Louis could not believe what he heard and told Isaac to turn himself in. But Isaac said he didn't plan on doing that. After about an hour, Isaac departed Louis's house, leaving Louis to share the horrific story with his wife, Lori. Louis checked online to see if there had been a murder in Elizabeth City. As he confirmed the truth, the awfulness of the revelation boiled away inside him. After multiple sleepless nights, 3 days after Isaac confessed, he picked up the phone and called the Elizabeth City Police Department. Investigators flew out to Oregon to see Louis the next day. After sharing the full story in person with detectives, Louis was asked to make a recorded phone call to Isaac. Louis said it was a hard decision, but ultimately went through with it.
Have the police been back? Have they done any more investigating?
I'll be honest with you, I'm not entirely comfortable speaking about that over the phone.
Isaac Melcher was smarter than most average people. He did not want to talk on the regular line and told Louis that he would speak only on a secure phone line over the encrypted smartphone app Signal. Louis called him using the app, and Isaac felt comfortable talking.
It is secured. It cannot be accessed from the outside.
With Isaac unaware of the detective's presence on the other end of the call, they simply placed their voice recorder next to Louis's phone and hit record.
Hey Louis, how are you doing?
Good, Isaac. How are you?
Hi, Louis.
Hi, Darlene. How are you doing?
I'm well. We got to celebrate our son's birthday, so I'm very thankful.
As the conversation got going, Louis steered Isaac into talking about the murder. Why, he asked, didn't Angel just get a divorce?
The plan was for her to leave him. Okay. And something changed. She did not think that he would let her go, and that he would probably kill her if she tried to leave him. And I reached the place where I asked the devil to help me.
Yeah.
Because I knew that I had to so fully turn my back on God to do this.
With Isaac's wife Darlene on the call, Louis poked about for what she knew.
Isaac called me the day that it happened to tell me that it had happened.
Now, when you say when it had happened,
I'm talking about the murder.
Isaac confirmed his involvement, adding that he didn't stand a chance with the authorities if he turned himself in.
Because there is premeditation. And I will either get life in prison or I will get the death penalty. What I did was a horrible thing.
There was more to the story as Isaac's wife Darlene mentioned an affair.
The affair I did not know about at all until the night he told me about it.
I've known Angel now for not quite a year, but it reached a place with Angel that it moved way, way, way beyond, just somebody that I was having sex with.
Then, the story took another bizarre turn. Isaac revealed he and Angel had bigger plans.
If somehow with Angel. And amazingly enough, Donnie is still willing to walk through this with me. I forgive you, and I have compassion on you, and I am going to be with you as hard as it is.
You're a bigger lady than Lori is, that's for sure.
The police came to question me while Isaac was out of town, and I just told them that I can't be compelled to testify about anything that was shared to me in confidence with my spouse.
As the phone call continued, the evidence only seemed to grow. If Isaac could be believed, his story was bigger than an affair that led to a murder. According to Isaac, Angel knew much more than she was saying.
The only reason that she had to not say anything is because there's a good chance that she would be implicated and arrested and go to jail also for conspiracy to commit murder.
He mentions that she knew it was going to happen. She knew that he was the killer. What's more, Isaac said he and Angel were still in touch.
Has Angel been questioned at all?
Oh, I'm sure she had, yeah. When I spoke with her, she was pretty sure that her phone was probably being bugged.
But he said she was playing dumb to investigators.
She is sticking to her story. She's denying everything.
With the phone conversation winding down,
All right, Louie. Have a good night. Good night.
detectives had enough to get an arrest warrant for Isaac. Back in Elizabeth City, 3 weeks after Milton Sawyer's murder, Isaac was arrested.
You're going to be charged today with conspiracy to commit murder and murder.
With everything they were hearing from Isaac, the investigators wanted to speak with Angel again.
Originally, I want to have some jewelry and stuff I wanted to show you today and talk to you about some other leads we had. And in the turn of events this morning, Isaac has been under arrest. He's come in this morning.
Good.
So
That's him?
Well, he's said a lot of stuff about you.
About me?
Mm-hmm.
What?
Well, that's what we need to talk about
Okay.
and get straight. He's told us stuff about the affair, and then things about you want to leave Milton, and so we need to get all that out in the open.
And something else that we wanted to talk about is that there's I had an interaction a little over a week ago with your Facebook Messenger stuff.
Yes, sir.
And we've started to get some records back. And it appears that you guys have been in communication for a while through a variety of different apps, which kind of negates what you were saying earlier, that, it was always like a one-sided conversation.
I mean, and I had answered in the beginnings, but I mean, my husband was involved in the whole time. Anytime that, when it was in the beginning, like I said, about just accepting his friend request because he had told me during the, session that he was on a trip with his family and wanted me to look at the pictures and everything else. But anything else,
There were two-way communications with you guys recently. You know what I mean? So it's like even after the trip to the beach and all that kind of stuff. Like there's stuff after that.
I have not communicated with him since he called me,
Mm-hmm.
and I called Aaron and told him immediately.
Mm-hmm.
And those 2 calls happened, and I shared them with you immediately because he had contacted me, and I wanted you to know that he had contacted me. I have not contacted him in any way, shape, or form, nor communicated with him in any way, shape, or form.
But see, that's the thing. This is what I want to talk to you about. I know that's not true because of what he told us. Like, for example, you told him that we took your phone and had your phone for 5 hours. How would he know that? You had to talk to him. That shows he's telling me the truth. This dude, for whatever reason, he's crazy about you. He's in love with you.
But that has nothing to do with me, I swear to you.
That maybe it doesn't, but my point is, I think you know what happened. You were there, you know what happened. It was a plan. He's already told us it's a plan.
I
The
didn't
difference is
plan
this.
anything.
I think you're afraid of him.
I'm terrified of him because he's crazy.
Well, you should also be terrified of him because you saw him kill your husband.
I do not know that it was him or not him. He did not address me in any shape or form.
No,
And he was.
let's get away from that.
Now I'll tell you why. Because the initial plan was to give Milton pills and vodka.
Was it to give him pills and Vicodin? I don't even
Vodka.
have any of that.
Pills and vodka.
Pills and vodka to make it like an overdose.
Yeah.
We don't even, unless we're out, we don't even drink alcohol.
Isaac told us all about when y'all met. He said it didn't turn sexual till like Christmas of last year, like the end of Christmas.
We know that he bought you a phone so that you wouldn't be communicating on that.
I have not touched a phone that he purchased. I know nothing about, I do not have a phone that he purchased or any of that. One of his messages may have said that, but I had blocked him. But I do not have another phone. I have not had another phone from him. I swear I will take a lie detector test.
I care about you enough. I want to put you in the best light. You understand that? Okay?
Yes.
I believe that you were there. You know you were there. You know he did it, without a doubt. Based on everything he's told us, there's nothing you can say to me that's going to make me believe anything else. I think this person came in your house, he was in love with you and would do anything to be with you, including kill Milton.
But I didn't want to be with him.
I understand that. But if he's this obsessed with you, that he would do this, I mean, what are you going to do? You can't tell him no?
I didn't.
You need to put yourself in front of this, because right now he's trying to throw you under the bus. You understand that?
He has told us everything.
Yes, if you're afraid of him and he's done all this stuff and you knew about it, but you're just afraid of him, then now's the time. He is locked up in handcuffs downstairs right now. He is not going to come after you. But you need to look out for you. And that means you're going to have to tell us exactly what the deal was.
He is obsessed with me. You're right. And I told him that I'm in love with my husband, I'm staying with my husband, and all that. When we were having physical therapy several times, yes, there were probably 2 times that you can go ask other people, that I was crying and upset because Milton was mad at me for coming to physical therapy. I in no way, shape, or form wanted to be with this guy, ever. He made it very clear in some of his messages that he was obsessed with me. And he had said different ways of which he could get rid of him. And I explained to him that I was not interested in anything like that. I love Milton. I want to spend the rest of my life with Milton. And when he came in, it did not click with me, honestly, who it was, because it happened so fast until he was on top of Milton, and I was begging him to please stop. I love my husband. I want to be with him. Please stop. And that's when you put the gun in my head. And he said, "Shut the up, bitch. This is going to happen, blah, blah, blah." And I said, "I will never be with you. I will never be with you. You're terrifying me. I hate you." All of those things.
What was the plan he was telling you?
He was telling me that he had gotten some prescription for some kind of car accident him and his wife were in. And he had asked me if I would get some pills and leave them outside so he could, leave them somewhere so he could crush them up and he'd put them in. And I just kept ignoring it and ignoring it and ignoring it. And I never in my life thought that they would come to this. But I did not plan this. It was not me. I have no desire to be with him. I have nothing.
Let me ask you this. He knew that there was no kids that night. Did you talk to him? How did you know there was no kids there?
No, I didn't.
And that's not talking to him and, "Hey, tonight's a good night to do something."
No,
I
I
like
swear
that.
to
Did you talk to him at all?
I never talked to him. When that door opened, the door, and he was right there, I had not spoken to him at all. It completely caught me off guard that somebody was there, and everything up until the bathroom when he was on top of him, and I kept saying, "Please get off of him, please get off of him," and he heard the TV. He asked if there was any effing kids there. He left the room. When he came back, I still wasn't real sure, but then he was like, "What, are you afraid of me now? Are you afraid of me now?" And I was like, then it clicked. He's psychotic. I mean, what is he doing? He knew that I had told him I didn't want anything to do with him.
Did Milton, before Milton died, did he know it was Isaac?
No, I don't know.
You don't know if he did or didn't? But before Milton passed, did you know it was Isaac? Because you said you were yelling at him that you love your husband.
Well, the only thing
So
I know
was he
is
still,
when
was
he
he
was
still
on
in the
top
act
of
of
him.
doing stuff when you were
He was on top of him when I was telling him to get off of him, get off of him. He put the gun to my head and was like, "Shut the up, bitch. This is gonna happen. I'm not stopping." And I was just crying and screaming, and I don't know at what point.
Be truthful about the relationship. There's more. Y'all did more than talk. It was sexual, correct?
There were 2 times.
Oh,
Yes.
2 times, okay.
Yes, sir.
Where did that happen?
At the clinic and behind COA. And it was actually 3 times. There was a parking spot on the highway on 17. It happened those couple times, and it was at a time when things were bad in our marriage. I'm not making an excuse for it, but as far as anything sexually or anything, any kind of relationship, it has been months. I mean, that thing that happened at the beach was in, the beginning of May. I hadn't even spoken to him or been with him since before that. Because I was surprised when we saw him at the beach. I mean, it wasn't a planned thing.
So how did you guys communicate?
Through Messenger.
Facebook Messenger.
Yep, and that's it. See, I have no phone, I have no other way. Never spoken to him on my phone. Never has he called me except for the 2 times that I spoke to Aaron and told him. The reason I guess I didn't realize it was him until the end was because why he was demanding the keys to the shop or was saying stuff about gold buying, and then I honestly had no clue because I was like, wait, he's asking for all these things, but I didn't plan it. I didn't know he was coming.
He's saying he took all that stuff as part of the plan just to make it look like a robber.
Well, that was not my plan.
That's all he's saying. But he's saying, I'm telling you, he's saying it's all pre-planned between the 2 of you.
And then you talked in the hallway when you went out to get a drink that you met him in the hallway and talked about it. And the only reason he knew to come was because the kids were gone. And we had a transmission where you guys did talk on Facebook Messenger the day before.
Right, but I did not know he was coming. I had no idea how he knew the kids wouldn't be there because I'm telling you the truth, my daughter was there until 10:40. At 10:40 at night, until I was literally laying in bed, I did not plan for him to come. I had not communicated with him at all about when the kids would be there or any of those things. I swear to you, I became afraid of him when he talked like that. And I told him, if I were going to leave my husband, I would leave my husband. I'm not going to leave my husband. He said, I can't live without you. I can't be without you. I'll do anything to be with you. He, from my understanding, had already told his wife he was leaving her. And I told him, you should work out your marriage. You have these 3 young kids. They need their father. I'm not going to be with you. So we hadn't been fighting for months. Everything had been perfect. We worked on a relationship. We got help. I did not plan anything as far as killing him. Every time he would mention things, I would say, no, I'm not going to do that.
So he may be using the word plan, but he did discuss it with you, what he wanted to do.
He asked me about the pills. Asked if I'd be willing to give him the pills.
And I'm just saying, from his perspective, he may be thinking y'all are having a conversation.
I guess.
You see what I'm saying?
Right, but I didn't.
And that's what I'm trying to get. So what else was he telling you he wanted to try to do, or what was the conversation
That's
like?
the only thing he ever said. As far as anything with regards to him that I can recall was to crush up pills. And does he ever drink alcohol? I said no. And, that's it. I mean, that's what he planned on. He had asked me to do. That's the only.
And did he try that when he first got there? Did you try to get him to take pills?
No, I have never given him. I never did that. I never took any pills. I never crushed any pills. I never gave Isaac any pills. None of that stuff. None of it.
But did he try to do that when he got there? Did he try to make Milton take pills?
No, not to my knowledge.
And when did he actually smack you? Because he's telling us that after everything was over is when he smacked you to make it look like you were beat up and he taped you up.
No, when he came, that's when he took me out of the bathroom, and I tried to go back in to see if Milt was okay, and he said, "No, he's already dead, bitch. There's no way you can save him." And that's when I went towards the phone, and he hit me, right here.
Is that how he talks to you?
No,
Like
I've never. That's what I'm saying. I never heard him speak like that, so I didn't know it was him. And then that's when I freaked out and I was terrified because I never heard any of that kind of talk. I've never heard him talk like that. I've never, any of those things. But I didn't plan anything. It was not my intention for him to do that.
What did he tell you when he left? Because he said he had a conversation with you before he left that night. What did he say to you? I mean, you knew it was him, so.
When he left?
Yeah.
The only thing
he
he
said
said.
he talked to you.
Yeah, the only thing he said to me when he left was, "This is the story you're gonna tell the police, and if you don't, then I'll come after you and your kids." And that's why I haven't said those things, because I don't care if someone comes after me, but I needed to protect my kids. After the kids were gone to school, then I was gonna have a meeting with you, to be honest. I just needed them to be gone so that they were protected, and he couldn't find them. First time he called, he said, "I need to talk to you." I said, "No, I'm not talking to you. I hate you. I want nothing to do with you. I'm terrified of you," and I hung up. Then he called right back. He said, "You mean you're never gonna talk to me again? I can't live with this. I can't handle this. I did this because I want to be with you. You're telling me you don't want to be with me." I said, "Absolutely not." I said, "I'm terrified of you. I don't want you contacting me." And he said, "Well, are the police talking to you?" And I said, "Yeah, of course they're talking to me. They've had my phone for 5 hours, all that stuff." I said, "And I'm going to hang up the phone and tell them that you called me and contacted me. And I'm going to show them if you message me." I never responded to those 2 message things that I sent to you. And I never spoke to him again except for the phone call, which I told you. And that's it.
Did he ask you what you told us, if you were sticking to the story or anything when you talked to you?
No, the only thing I said to him was, I said, "The only thing I know is that they don't know who did it. And I did what you told me to, so don't come after me, don't call me, don't talk to me, don't try to, don't hurt me and my kids." I said, "But I don't want anything to do with you. So I'm gonna call the detective as soon as we hang up, and I'm gonna let him know that you called me. So you would be smart to not contact me ever again." And he hasn't.
What would be his reasons for coming and telling us everything he's told us?
I have no idea.
From the first day you met Isaac, let's just start there, and let's just go through your whole relationship until today.
We had physical therapy, obviously, and then.
And why were you in physical therapy?
I was in a car accident
Okay.
for my knee and for my neck.
Okay.
I continued physical therapy, and he does needling, like acupuncture. I started maybe in September. As it got, like he said, closer to Christmas, it became more of a flirtatious thing and whatever. And we were going through hard times. Not that that makes an excuse. And then there were a couple times that we met, like I said, over there by COA.
Did you tell him your complaints about home life? Did he tell you his complaints about home life?
I think, not that I had done that, but I think during physical therapy, like I said, Milton didn't like me going because he was, jealous, and obviously rightfully so. So I finally quit. And unfortunately then I was still going through a lot of pain. And so Milton said, "You just need to go back." And I said, "No, because I don't want you to be upset." He said, "I'll try to be not upset about it." And then I started back at physical therapy. And then started, somewhat, I guess, of a relationship. As far as I knew, he was happily married with kids. He told me he would never leave his wife, he would never leave his kids. And that's when I realized that it was stupid for me to do this. He made it very clear that he was never going to leave his family. He was never going to be with me, so what's the point? So I just made that decision that I was going to stay with my husband, and my husband and I were going to work things out. We sought counseling, and at that point he started messaging, "Well, what if we did this and this?" And I said, "I'm never going to leave him." I said, "Because I don't want to be that woman who's divorced twice." I said, "I get it. I know that I cheated on him. That doesn't make me, it makes me a horrible person." I said, "But I'm going to stay with him anyways." And then he started messaging like, "Well, what if you were dead? Then would you be with me?" And I said, I don't understand what you mean. Obviously he's not dead." Then he was like, "Well, I would be willing to do that for you." And I said, "I don't want you to do that. I'm not interested in that." "Well, you wouldn't be any part of it." I said, "I don't want you to do it. Either I'm a part of it or not a part of it." One time he sent a message and was like, "You shouldn't be up so late." And I was like, "Well, what are you talking about?" "Well, I came by and you and your husband were still up." And I realized that he had was literally psychotic. I kept saying, leave him alone, get off of him, leave him alone. And he said, you know, shut the up and put the gun to my head and, bitch, this is happening. I don't care if you wanted to or not. I'd rather go to jail and you be free from him and I don't have to wonder and worry, but wonder if you're having sex with him or that you're still together. And like I said, my husband and I's relationship had done a 180. We were making love twice a day. We had, if you go in the room right now, you're gonna see the stuff that we bought that we were gonna do a photo shoot.
So how do you think he got into the house? Did he know there was a key in the back? Did you leave the key for him? Did you know he had the key somewhere?
No. We always leave the key on that little table. I know my daughter told you that. And it blends in with the table, so I don't know. And I don't know if my daughter left the door unlocked or he used the key. I don't know.
Has he ever been in your house?
Hmm?
Has he ever been in the house?
Only one time he told me, not with me there, that he unlocked the door and came in just to see if he could get in the house without Milton hearing him.
Mm-hmm.
And I told him that's really effed up and creepy, and why would, and that was the same night that he said we were up late watching a movie.
Mm-hmm.
When you open the door that night and he's standing there, he tells us that when you came out that he has a conversation with you before he goes in the room.
No, that is a lie. I swear to you that is a lie. I opened the door and the door pushed open like this. And he immediately started screaming and yelling and cussing, and I had no idea it was.
And how was he really? Was he really dressed in black? Was he just himself?
He was all in
he
black.
like normal?
Nope, he was all in black. Right down to the shoes. He had a mask on that was a dark gray. You could not see anything. That is the truth.
And what point did you know it was out? I mean, you're in
When
the
he
bathroom
stuck the
now.
gun to my head in the bathroom, I was screaming and yelling, get off of him.
So you already know it's Isaac now.
At that point, that's when I realized that it was him. And that's when I really was like, please leave him alone. I told you I don't want to be with you. I told you that I'm staying with my husband. I haven't communicated with you. He said, I know, and that's why I freaked out. I don't know why I did this tonight. I don't know why I lost it tonight, but I lost it. And I needed you. You're not talking to me. You haven't picked up the phone. And I bought this phone for you to talk to me. You're not talking to me. And I said, I told you why I'm not talking to you. Because that's my husband. I love him. Get off of him. Get off of him. Please just
And what's he
leave him
doing?
alone.
What's he doing in the middle while y'all are having this
I don't
conversation?
know. It was dark. I mean, the only light, I was over here by the bathtub. And he was right here, and the toilet's right here. And the only light was from whatever the TV light, because the whole house was dark. And I couldn't see him. I still didn't even know until about halfway into that. He was on top of him, which is what I had told y'all before, but that's all I know. I don't know what he was doing. I just knew he was on top of him.
And was Milton struggling? Could you hear him struggling or anything at this point in time?
No.
Because by then he also knew who it was.
Yeah, so
If you're having that conversation with him, he also knows who it is.
Well, he never addressed himself.
If you
Yeah.
said, I
Yeah.
told you I didn't want to be with you,
Right,
and your husband's in the
exactly.
room.
Right. No, I have to assume that. You're right.
When you said that he had a conversation with you about what you were going to tell the police, what did he tell you to tell us?
That basically someone had broken in and that they stole the stuff, which is, what you really did do.
When you called Aaron and told him that he had called you, and we looked at your Facebook messages, and we found the one, why did you
The one
delete it?
about a raincoat.
What's that?
The one about the coats or whatever, which I didn't respond to, but it was something
Yeah, why
about
did you
coats.
delete it?
I guess I just got scared.
Because it doesn't look good. I mean, it honestly makes you look a little bit manipulative to call us to come talk to you about Isaac calling you and then delete evidence of contact with Isaac right in front of us.
I understand that.
Just the perception
I understand.
is that you've lied to us from the beginning,
I understand.
which you have.
I understand.
So why should we believe you, who's told us at least 2 or 3 sets of lies, and not Isaac, who the only time he's ever spoken about this has just regurgitated everything that happened?
I wouldn't blame you for not believing me. I had an affair and I regretted that affair, and I didn't know the type of person that he was.
When he sent you messages about murdering your husband and asking you to assist him in that, why didn't you call the police?
Because I didn't think it would really happen.
I want you to assume that every message you ever sent him that we have the content of.
Okay.
Do I think that there was a plan? Yeah, I absolutely think there was a plan. Whether or not you took it serious or didn't, at some point in time, you did not convince him to not murder your husband.
I tried. I thought I had. I didn't know he was coming that night. I didn't go get the phone because I didn't want to communicate with him.
Where was it supposed to have been?
He had left a message that it was behind the trampoline somewhere in this little area that's part of our pool house shed thing. Not the separate one, but this one. But I never went back there. I never went and looked for it. I never picked it up. I assumed he was getting the message. Instead, apparently, it was making him crazier. I don't blame you for not believing me. I hate myself for not being stronger and just telling you all right from the beginning.
And again, you know, one of the reasons I asked about does he know where your kids go to school is because he told us that after they went to Wilmington, Rhode Island, that you guys were supposed to be together. So how would he have known that otherwise?
Yeah, I mean, he probably did. I mean, I'm sure I talked about it. I talked about all my kids.
Why did you steer us away from him or steer us away in the completely wrong direction? Why did you claim to have seen
Because
jewelry
he
that
said
you
he
knew
was
was
going to
yours?
kill me and my kids if I didn't.
Hey, I found this jewelry. It looks like my jewelry. That wasn't until days later.
Well, two of the pieces do look like, I wasn't lying.
But you knew that they weren't yours.
They do look like mine.
But they weren't.
I understand.
Because you know that they weren't, that he didn't steal them.
Right.
So, like, you understand, like, you sent us in the wrong direction on purpose.
Because I was scared. I know
Then
that's
why
not
say,
an
then why
excuse.
not say nothing? Just say nothing, then, hey, I think that, you know, this black guy sold my jewelry to a pawn shop. Just say nothing. It makes you look extremely guilty when you send us in the wrong direction on purpose.
I understand.
And I'm very sorry that Milton died, but I
I am
absolutely
too.
think that you were complicit in it.
I swear to you, I did not want this to happen.
You may not have wanted it to happen, but it happened. It would be reasonable to think that if you told us that it was him on the morning of August 2nd, that he would have been arrested immediately. And what means would he have to hurt you?
I don't know. I didn't think that through.
You know, I've always said, I don't care what happens from this point forward, okay? So here's my concerns with you. Isaac is coming in and he just told all this stuff this morning, okay?
Yes, sir.
Your story doesn't flow like Isaac's does. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
My fear is that you're leaving something out.
I did not conspire. I see how it looks that way because I didn't tell him. I said I wouldn't participate, but the fact that I didn't call the police immediately, I understand that how it looks.
When you said in the beginning, he said he would never.
Yeah.
But would you have if he had?
No.
Okay.
I made it very clear to him that I would never get a divorce.
Yeah.
That my husband and that I just wasn't going to be that person that was divorced twice.
Well, the reason I ask is because a few minutes ago when we talked about that, you said that when you guys had that conversation and he said that he would never leave his wife because he was a godly man and so on and so forth, and you said, well, what's the point of continuing?
Yeah, I
Which
understand. I
kinda
meant
indicates
continuing the
that-
affair.
Yeah, which kind of indicates that had he been willing to leave, that you would have left, which is okay. You know, I
Yeah,
understand.
I don't know what I would have done. I just know
Yeah.
that I had changed.
Your mind.
Yeah, I had changed my mind. I didn't want to be with him. My
Yeah.
daughter would have used it at 8:40 to come home that night.
Yeah, but if that happened months prior,
Right.
I mean, you change the locks, get a new key, something. It almost looks like you wanted him to get in because if I knew that someone had broken into my house and I had to hide a key, at least move the hide a key.
I see what you're saying, but I didn't think he was actually capable of doing this. I didn't think he would ever do this.
So everything we talked about today is the truth.
Yes, sir.
We have a warrant for you.
I understand.
So we're gonna have to serve that, and from now forward, you're under arrest. We're gonna take you downstairs and get you processed.
Angel and Isaac were arrested, both charged with first-degree murder. Isaac, still obsessed with Angel, wanted to shield her from prosecution. They continued their relationship in jail by using a third party to merge their calls.
Okay, can you write down John 15, verses 12 and 13?
John 15, 12, and 13?
Mm-hmm.
The scripture says, "Love each other as I have loved you. Greater love has no one than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends." In essence, Angel said, "If you truly love me, you will lay your life down for me." While Isaac seemed to be in love, it wasn't the same for Angel.
I'm very sorry for everything that's happened. Angel? Are you there? What the?
The caller has hung up.
As Angel's case headed to trial, Isaac had a change of heart. He decided to testify against her. In September 2021, 3 years after Milton Sawyer was found strangled in his home, his wife Angel went on trial, charged with his first-degree murder. The prosecution argued that Angel had manipulated Isaac into murdering her husband, that she had planned the killing, participated in it, and tried to cover it up. It was Isaac's turn to testify. Although there were no cameras in the courtroom, this is a video of Isaac telling investigators the same basic story he would tell the jury.
You just want to be the good guy. You want to be the person that protects. She would talk about how when they would argue, it would just be very abusive.
As their friendship grew, they flirted, he testified, and Angel made suggestive sexual comments.
She would talk about very personal things, such as I lay next to him, naked all night long, and he doesn't even look at me. She brought up again, I'm out in the hot tub naked, and that turned into her sending me a picture.
If a nude picture wasn't far enough, Isaac said Angel shocked him in a physical therapy session when he asked her to change into a robe, and he stepped out of the room.
And I came back in, and she was pretty much almost naked. My ability to step away at that point was gone. We started into a relationship.
You were kind of hooked at that point?
Yeah.
There was sex, lots of it, he testified. Not the 3 times Angel had fessed up to.
And then it was a matter of finding time and places to do it.
Isaac said that they talked about being together.
One day, she contacted me and said, I can't leave because if I do, he'll kill me. The only way that I will ever be able to leave is if he dies of natural causes.
That became the starting point of a murder plot, he testified. He became convinced that Milton was not going to let Angel leave.
She claimed that he would track her down and either bring her back or kill us both.
He told the court the first idea before the home invasion plan was to kill Milton with drugs. That was Isaac's plan. However, he said Angel preferred a staged home invasion. On the night of the murder, Isaac drove to a church at the back of the Sawyers' home, went through a wooded area, and across the backyard. He said he put on a mask, used the backdoor key Angel had told him was there, and went inside. Then, he described the moment he killed Milton.
Slit my arm around his neck and attempted to put him into a rear naked chokehold. He didn't have a pulse. So I kind of slumped over to the side, pulled my mask off.
Angel was right there in the bathroom, he said. Angel's head wound was just part of the staged home invasion.
She wanted me to hit her to make it look like more realistic, I guess. So the first time was not enough. And she knelt down and basically smacked her forehead against the corner of one of the drawers that we had pulled out.
Isaac's testimony ends and the prosecution rests. Angel chose not to testify. The defense's trial strategy was to discredit Isaac Melcher as an unreliable witness who testified against Angel only to receive a lesser sentence. After the defense rested, it was now up to the jury. A unanimous verdict was reached in just 20 minutes. The jury found Angel guilty of conspiracy to commit murder and first-degree murder. She was sentenced to life without parole. Isaac pled guilty to second-degree murder in exchange for a 25-year sentence and his testimony against Angel. Isaac Melcher will be eligible for parole in 2038. His wife Darlene, who'd supported him on the call with Louis, divorced him. Angel maintains her innocence and has appealed her conviction. Prosecutors believe the motive behind the crime was Angel's desire to leave Milton. She wanted out, but did not want to be seen as a twice divorcee. She made that statement multiple times during her interviews with detectives. In the aftermath, one of Milton's children, Caleb, tries to move forward in life and becomes an engineer. He takes solace in the video memories captured by his mom of the early days of happiness. In the months that followed, Pastor Louis made contact with Isaac. Isaac told Louis that he agreed with his decision to share his confession with the police. The two remain in contact. For more videos of cases never seen on YouTube, click one of the videos on screen now or the links in the pinned comment. Goodbye for now.